that, I mean, obviously I can chunk data into groups of 10, like I could sit there and cut it into 10 pieces. What is it that you want us to do
Well, let me first show you an easier way to cut it up.
Okay.
Okay. So you can use, I think it's split worksheet.
Okay.
Well, it's either split or subset. Let's try split. Okay, split won't work, but actually, okay, so one approach you could do is you create another variable in here. I'm just gonna, did I insert a column here? I want to do that. Okay, we're gonna create another column over here. I'm just gonna call this decade. And then what I'm gonna do is, using code, I'm going to do what this is numeric to numeric. What I'm doing is I'm going to create conditions for which we're going to have decades over here. So I'm going to code year, and I'm going to store it in decade.
Okay.
And so for year, what I'm going to say is, okay, if year is, let's say, 1960 to 1969, that's going to be value 1.
Okay.
So it's first decade.
And then I go on and do that for all the other ones.
Yeah, let's just do it really quickly.
79.
So you'll see what I'm talking about. 1979, that's going to get value 2. 1980 to 1989 is going to get value 3. 1990 to 1999 is potty. 2000 to 2000.
I'm gonna need more paper.
is 5. And then 2000.
I'm gonna need to buy another whole ream.
I had to buy another ream, yeah.
Hopefully you guys are not going to print out your reports. I want them electronically. Electronic is better. Why waste money on printing?
To spite you.
That's your choice. So now, once you do this, you hit OK, and watch, it's going to create and should automatically code all those decades.
Okay.
So now the nice thing is you can now come up here and say split by that decade. So if you split the worksheet by decade, watch this. Actually, let me minimize this so you can see what it does. Data split by decade. You're going to get a bunch of worksheets that split up the data by decade. And so now for each worksheet, you can compute your statistics, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Okay, so you want us to
Or-
compute averages?
Or alternatively, if you don't want to have to deal with all this crap, so you're like, okay, that's way too much stuff to handle. So, because the problem with splitting data is that you got to do this routine. Another way to do this is you can use this variable right here. So you can, for example, now compute, for example, let's just do averages. Descriptive statistics on, say, your normalized private N. Of course, by now you should have more, and you want to do it by decade, split by decade. And I only want means. Well, give me standard deviations too. See how it split it up by decades for you?
Huh.
Gotcha. Okay.
Kind
Okay.
of cool, huh?
Okay.
And what does this show me? Well, the problem is the interpretation of these means and standard deviations gets a little bit trickier. But now, so now, because everything, the interpretation for these guys now is rates. So essentially, this is the, this is effectively you're saying 26 or 26.7% of the private sector jobs in the first decade. And we now have 30%, we're about 33.8, 36, and so forth. So effectively, now of course the problem here is there's 6 decades only composed of 2 years, so I probably wouldn't even trust that. But you could say something about these, and effectively the message here looks like that as a percentage these guys are increasing, but the increase is also slowing down, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And the variation is pretty much constant, so that sort of means that that rate is, there's not a lot of variability from year to year, it's just steadily increasing, although in the 1990s it slowed its rate of increase, didn't it? It went from 30, so we got like 3 percentage points here, 4 percentage points, 4 percentage points, 1 percentage point.
Right.
So the rate of increase is slowing down.
So can you send us an example